So this week is Parshas Parah. Parshas Parah is the pshat in Shulchan Aruch, Siman Tov Reish Pei Hey Siv Zayin. The Mechaber says, Yesh Oimrim, she Parshas Zochar u Parshas Parah Aduma Chayovin Likroisa Mida Oiraisa. That Parshas Parah and Parshas Zochar, there's a chiyuv kriya Mida Oiraisa. Lefichach b'nei hayishuvim she'ein lohem minyan tzrichim lovoi lemokoim sheyesh minyan b'shabbosos halolu. People that don't have a minyan where they live need to come to a place where there is a minyan k'dei l'shmoya parshiyos elu, in order to hear these parshiyos she'ein midoiraisa. So the source of this is in the Rishonim and Brachas Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. And the Gemara wants to say that Rebbe and the Rabbanon are having a machloikis if Kol HaTorah B'Lashon HaKodesh Nemra or B'Chol Lashon Nemra. And the Gemara says that this machloikis is about, the Gemara doesn't say what it's about. The Gemara says B'Chol Lashon Nemra or B'Lashon HaKodesh Nemra. So Tosfos over there says in the name of Rashi and Masechtas Megillah that what's the issue if Kol HaTorah was Nitna B'Lashon HaKodesh or it was Nitna B'Chol Lashon? It's Pirish Rashi, Perik Sheni, the Megillah, Likrois Batorah, that the nafkamina is if Kriyas HaTorah can be done in any language, or Kriyas HaTorah can only be done in Lashon HaKodesh. Zok Tosfos v'lo nehira. He doesn't understand how can Rashi learn such a pshat. The Ha'ezra tikein Kriyas HaTorah. The Kriyas HaTorah is only a takana of Ezra. Umikame the Asa Ezra v'hayu lamali. These Tanoim are arguing in how to interpret a pasuk. If Kol HaTorah B'Lashon HaKodesh Nemra or B'Chol Lashon Nemra, how could this be an argument in Doiraisa if the whole Kriyas HaTorah is not Doiraisa? So Tosfos says V'yeshloima demayri beparshiyos hamechuyovin likrois Doiraisa kegoin Parshas Zochar. That we could make sense out of Rashi, because maybe we're talking about Likrois B'Torah, a parsha that's mechuyev min haTorah kegoin Parshas Zochar. Inami mikra bikurim uvidui ma'aseh. And so it says also in the Rosh. The Lashon HaMechaber comes from the Trumas Hadeshen, Siman Kuf Chof, where it says she'elo b'nei hayishuvin she'en lohem minyan Bo'ir v'ritzoinam lo leches ela kehilos asmuchos lohem b'yemei apurim k'dei l'shmoy mikra megillah tzrichim lizor she'yakdimu bi'osam leParshas Zochar oiloi. So the Trumas Hadeshen is asking, do they have to come to the city where there's a minyan already for Parshas Zochar, or is it okay if they come for Purim? So he says, Tshuva yeroeh the adarabah. It's more important that they should hear Zochar. B'tzibur mi mikra megillah. Afa gav de mikra megillah adifa v'chol mitzvah nitzches b'fanel. We know that mikra megillah is like avodah, is like a Talmud Torah. Mikol makom l'das reiv ha'poskim nikresi b'yochid. Most poskim hold that the mikra megillah can be done b'yochid. Aval kriyas ha'Parshas Zochar kosav harosh in Perik Shlosha Sha'achlu, the Asay Doiraisa hu Likroison B'tzibur. And it's a Esed Doichalois Esed, the Lo'ilam Behem Ta'avoidu. The Rosh says, therefore, Rebbe Lezer was Shichrer Avdoi. To have a minyan, that was for the Kriya of Parshas Zochar. Ayin Shom, Beroshu B'toisvis Shans, Shekosvu, the Ein Shum Kriya Midoiraisa, Rak Parshas Zochar. Ub'toisvis Haktsorois mi brachas Perik Sheni, the Parshas Zochar u Parshas Parah Aduma Chayovin Likroisam and HaTorah v'chein b'smak hilek lemitzvus asay Zochar es asher osa v'zeh she'onu korin b'Parshas Zochar koidim Purim v'mkein tzorach lizor yoyse sheyishma Parshas Zochar ba'asora mimikra megillah b'zmana. Now, the etzem fact that Tosfos and the Rosh say that Kriyas Parshas Zochar b'tzibur is Doiraisa, that's in itself a tremendous chiddush, because all it says in the Torah is Zochar es asher osa l'cha amalek. We do have a drasha that it's not enough belev, it has to be bepeh, as the Gemara says in Megillah Daf Yud Ches. However, I mean, where is the source that this has to be done b'tzibur? That in itself is a tremendous chiddush. But how did Parshas Parah become a d'oraisa, whether b'yochid or b'tzibur? I mean, Parshas Parah, where's the mitzvah in the Torah to learn Parshas Parah? So the truth is that even though the Trumas Hadeshin does say that Tosfos says Parshas Zochar, Parshas Parah, but in the entire Trumas Hadeshin there's no discussion about Parshas Parah. I mean, he's saying they have to come to shul, they have to come to the town for Parshas Zochar. He continues that so it's in the Smak. The Smak is only talking about Parshas Zochar. In the middle, he brought that in Tosfos it says Parshas Zochar and Parshas Parah, but he Bechlal doesn't make any to do about the Parshas Parah. The emes, if you look in Tosfos, it only says Parshas Zochar. Tosfos and Brachas Daf Yud Gimel that's being quoted, it only says Parshas Zochar. And if you look in the Be'er Hagula on the Shulchan Aruch, he's mitzayin on the Shulchan Aruch that says Parshas Zochar and Parshas Parah. He's mitzayin to the Tosfos and Brachas Daf Yud Gimel. So how did that happen? But if you look at the Hagaras Marshal in the Chochmas Shloimeh, in the back of the Gemara, on that Tosfos and Brachas Daf Yud Gimel, he writes Uparshas Parah Nimchak. So you see that in the old Yersois of Tosfos, it said not only Zochar, but it said also Parah. And that's Mistama what the Trumas Hadeshin was matik, but the Marshal was so pashut to him that it doesn't make any sense that Parshas Parah should be a deraisa, that he said Uparshas Parah Nimchak. So Avada darf verstehen, what's the pshat with this Girsa and Tosfos that says Parshas Parah? How did Parshas Parah become a deraisa? So you know that in the end of Parshas Tzav, it says by the Yemei HaMiluim, it says Umi Pesach Oyel Moyed Loy Seitzu Shivas Yomim Ad Melois Yemei Miluechem Ki Shivas Yomim Yemala Es Yetchem Kasher Oso Bayoim Hazeh Tziva Hashem La'asois Lechaper Aleichem. So there was a tzivui that Mi Pesach Oyel Moyed Loy Seitzu during the Shivas Yemei HaMiluim. And then the pasuk says, "Kasher oso bayoim hazeh tzivo Hashem la'asois lechaper aleichem." Zokt Rashi, tzivo Hashem la'asois kol shivas hayomim. V'rabboseinu dorshu la'asois ze ma'aseh parah, lechaper ze ma'aseh yom HaKippurim. Ulelamed shekoyin gadol ton pri shekoydim yom HaKippurim shivas yomim. That just like over here, there was a din of Mi Pesach Oyel Moed Loy Seitzu Shivas Yomim by the Yemei HaMiluim. We learn from the La'asois Tzivu Hashem La'asois Lechaper. We learn that by Kohen Gadol Tom Prisha Koydim Yom Kippur Shivas Yom V'chein HaKohen HaSoref Es HaPorah. Now this is in the Teres Kohenim in Parshas Tzav. And in the Gemara in Yoima Daf Beis Amid Aleph, La'asois Elu Maisei Parah, Lechaper Elu Maisei Yom HaKippurim, that by both of these things there's a halacha of Mi Pesach Oyel Moed Lo Seitzu Shivas Yomim, like by the Yemei HaMiluim. Now the Gemara in Yoima, in the Hemshech of the Sugya on Daf Daled and Daf Hey, it says that this Yalfusa that we learn, Yom HaKippurim and Parah Aduma from the Yemei HaMiluim, is not just about the halacha of Prisha. There are also other halachas that we learn, Yom HaKippurim, Maaseh Yom HaKippurim, and the Maaseh Parah from the Shivas Yemei HaMiluim. Now, you know that on the pasuk of the Yemei HaMiluim where it says, Vayomer Moshe Lo'eda Zeh HaDovar Asher Tziva Hashem La'asos, in the end of Parshas Tzav. The Gemara says in Yoima Daf Hey, Amar Reb Shimon bar Yochai, Minayin Sha'af Mikra Parsha Ma'akva. How do we know that by the Yemei HaMiluim there was a halacha that Mikra Parsha Ma'akva, that Moshe Rabbeinu had to read the Parsha on the 23rd day of Adar when the Yemei HaMiluim were kicked off? Mikra Parsha Ma'akva Diksiv Vayomer Moshe Lo'eda Zeh HaDovar Afila Dibur Ma'akiv. Rashi says Mikra Parsha, Parshas Miluim, Shenitztave, Beva'atot Etzave, Omar Lohem Letzibur, B'chav Gimel, B'odor, K'sheschilu HaMiluim, V'hikil Es Ha'eda, El Pesach Oil Moed, Shenema V'tikoil Ha'eda, V'yoyme Moshe El Ha'eda, Zeh HaDovar Shetiv Hashem Lasis, U'mikrois Halolu B'asiyas HaMiluim B'tzav Sahar. So we're not just talking about Moshe Rabbeinu teaching the Kohanim what to do on the Yemei HaMiluim, but there was a halakha that Moshe Rabbeinu was told to read the Parsha of the Yemei HaMiluim to the entire Klal Yisrael on Chav Gimel Adar when they started the Yemei HaMiluim. Now, does this detail of Mikra Parsha that was Ma'akiv in the Yemei HaMiluim, is this also one of the things that we learn from the Yemei HaMiluim to the Maaseh Parah and to Maaseh Yom Kippurim? There's no Gemara about it. However, in the beginning of Perek, Bo Loi Kohen Gadol, and Afsama Chesamid Beis in Mesechtes Yoma, when the Mishnah says, Bo Loi Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, Likrois Bebigdei Butz, Korei, Vim Lav Korei Be'itztelis Lovon Mishaloi, Zokt Rashi, Bo Likrois, Es HaParsha, the Alfina Mimiluim, the Amrina Beperek Kama, Sha'af Mikra Parsha Ma'akve. So Rashi says that the Kriya of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur is based on the Alfusa that we have in the first Perek that we learn Yom Kippur from the Yemei HaMiluim, that Mikra Parsha Ma'akve, and that's the Kriya of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. No. Oy Bazoi, since in the Alfusa, Laseis Lechaper, we learn from the Yemei HaMiluim not only Yom Kippur, we also learn Maaseh Parah. Voltach Gedav Zayin, that by the Parah Aduma, there's also a din of Kriyas Parsha Ma'akve, that when a Parah Aduma was made, there was a chiyuv to read the Parsha. So the Meshech Chochmah in Parshas Chukah says, based on this Rashi, that's the pshat in the Alta Girsa and Tosfos, that says that there's Kriyas Parsha that's Midoi Raisa. Kegoin Parshas Zohar or Parshas Parah doesn't mean the Parshas Parah that we read in Shul in the Dalet Parshas. It means the Parshas Parah that was read when they did the Parah Aduma Midin Kriyas HaParsha Ma'akve. Kriyas HaParsha Ma'akve. Okay, so and vice versa that the Emes the Marshal was moichik because he gives the impression that it's talking about Parshas Parah and that we read in Shul this Shabbos, and it's Taket Tzorchi and how the Shulchan Aruch was matik Parshas Parah, which definitely gives that impression. And there's no way to explain how this Kriya of Parshas Parah and the Seder of Dal Parshas can be a Doiraisa. Avada, it's mistaber like the Meshech Chochmah says. We should be misboinen. Yeah, what's the pshat that in these three things, the Yemei HaMiluim, Maaseh Yom Kippurim, and Maaseh Parah, the Torah was makbid that the Parsha should be read together with the doing. That the doing of the Yemei HaMiluim, the doing of Maaseh Yom Kippurim, the doing of the Parah Aduma should be together with the reading of the Parsha. What's the pshat? You know, on the pasuk Zois Chukas HaTorah, Rashi says, "Lefisha asoten v'umay sa'olam moinenes Yisrael loyme ma mitzvah zois ma tam yeshbo lefichach kosav b'chuko gzeira hi melefonai ein lecha reshus laharer achareha." But nevertheless, in the end of the parsha in Chukas, in the end of the Parshas Parah, Rashi brings me a soidoi shel Reb Moshe Hadashin v'yikchu eilecha mishelahen. K'moishehem parku nizme hazov la'egel mishelahem, kach yoviu likapara zu mishelahem, para adume, moshel ben shifche, shetinev paltin shel melech, amru tavoy imo, yusakaneach atzoya, kach tavoy para, usachaper ala egel. I mean, we just said that para is chukah hakakti, gzeira gazarti, ve'en l'charishut la'arachreo. And so what's the pshat that Rav Moshe Hadashin is giving a whole interpretation and a whole explanation that it's a kapara for the Chet HaEgel, and the Tavoy Parah v'tekaneach tzoyas beno. Obviously, the connection between the mashal and the nimshal is not just because a cow gives birth to a calf, because we're talking about a golden calf and that didn't have a mother. So, I mean, there must be a deep meaning to the Tavoi, Imoy, Usekaneach, Soyas, Bino, in the Toichan Ha'inyan. Why is the Parah a Machaper for Maise HaEgel? How is that Mekanech, the Tzoy of the Egel? Yeah, that needs to be understood. We also need to understand if the Parah is a Kapara for the Chet HaEgel, it should be done one time. Or maybe it should be done many times. But why is it connected with the purification from Tumas Meis? What does the purification from Tumas Meis have to do with the Kapara for the Chet HaEgel? But you know, the Pasuk says in Yeshaya Chofei, Bila Hamoves Lo Netzach, Umocho Hashem Dimo, Me'al Kol Ponim, V'cherpas Amoy Yosir. So, Cherpas Amoy, the shame, the embarrassment of his nation, he will remove. In other words, it means that as long as there's death in the world, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to Amoy. It's an embarrassment to the Jewish people. And B'shas, Bila Hamoves Lo Netzach, Umocho Hashem Dima Mi'al Kol Ponim, V'cherpas Amoy Yosef. I mean, death is natural. I mean, the guf is hoive v'nifsad. What's embarrassing about dying? I mean, why is death an embarrassment? Why is it referred to as cherpas amoy? And it's not just cherpa, but it's a special cherpa for the Jewish people. Why is it a cherpa for the Jewish people? It's a cherpa for humankind. Why is it a cherpa for amoy? But you know, that misa really is a gzeira. Therefore, misa is a cherpa. It's an embarrassment because it's a consequence of sin. And therefore, in the olam hatikun, when all will be corrected, the cherpa will be removed. Misa is a cherpa, klape the madrega of Adam Arishin before the chet. And therefore, Misa is a cherpa only for Amoy, because the Gemara says in Yavamis, Atem kruyim Adam, ve'ein oivdei koichavim kruyim Adam, which means that the task to correct the chet of Adam and restore the madrege of Adam Harishin Lefnei HaChet was given to the Jewish people. It's our responsibility. Atem kruyim Adam. It's our responsibility to restore Adam to his original glory. And therefore, as long as that hasn't happened yet, it's a cherpa for us. Therefore, death is a cherpas amoy. And la'asid lavoi is cherpas amoy yosir. Now we know that Yisrael she'omdu al har Sinai, paskazu amosam. The Gemara says in Shabbos Kuf Memvav, that Klal Yisrael went back to the Madrega of Adam Arishin Lefnei HaChet, as the Gemara says in Eruv and Daf Nun Daled, V'omer Rebbe Elazar Ma'id Ksiv Chorus al Haluchos Ilamole Lo Nishtabru Luchos Rishonis Lo Nishtachech HaTorah MiYisrael. Rav Acha Bar Yankiv Omer Ein Kol Omer V'Loshen Sholetes Behem Shenema Chorus Al Tikri Chorus Elocherus. In Shmois Rabbah, Rabbi Yehuda says Al Tikri Chorus Elocherus Min HaGolius. Reb Nechemya Omer Cherus Mi Malach HaMoves. So since it was Paskazu Amasa, so the Gzeres Misa of B'yoyim HaCholcha Mimenu Mois Tumos was removed. So it says in Avodah Zarah Dafhei, Reb Yosi Omer Lo Kiblu Yisrael Satorah Elo Kedei Shelo Yahei Malach HaMoves Sholot Beh. Shenema Ani Omarti, at the time of Kabbalah Satorah, Elohim Atem Uvnei Elyon Kulchem. Elohim in the sense of Malachim, angels. Chibaltem Ma'aseichem Ochein K'Adam Temusa. So through the which connects with what it says in the Zohar, that the Chet HaEgel brought back partially the Zuama of the Chet Eitz Hadas, and therefore Ochein Ka'Adam Temusun, the Gzeres Misa wasn't removed. So, but we understand that the Tara from Tumas Meis comes from the Mechaper on the Chet HaEgel, because the Chet HaEgel is the aside of the Cherpas Amoy in this world. Because the Chet HaEgel brought back the Zuama of the Chet Eitz Hadas, which is the aside of death. The Ochein Ka'Adam Temusa. But how exactly is the Parah Mechaper? I mean, we understand now the connection between the Kapara of the Chet HaEgel and the purification from Tumas Meis. because Tumas Meis is connected with the Chet Eitz Hadas, because the Chet, and which is connected with the Chet HaEgel. The Chet HaEgel brought back the Chet Eitz Hadas, which is the Yesod of Achen Ka'adam Temusun. So how does the Parah Aduma, how is it a mechaper on the Chet HaEgel, and how is it a purifier of Tumas Meis? So you know that in the Kuzari, in the Maimer Rishon Tzadik Zayin, he says that the Chet HaEgel Avada was not Avodah Zarah Kipshuto, was not Avodah Zarah Kipshuto. And he says that what was it about? Shebikshu Murgosh Yechavnu Negdoi. They wanted something that should be, in a sense, an embodiment of a spiritual idea, a symbol that would help them focus on Eloikus. Mibli sheyakhishu be'Eloikus moitzio miMitzrayim. Avada, they knew that the one and only Eloikim is the moitzio miMitzrayim. Aval sheyeh munach lahem lahakbil elov ki yisapru niflois Elokim. They should have something to be mechaven keneged when they will be mesaper niflois Elokim. He says, however, this is a problem. He says, "Ki eino adam magia el ha'inyan ha'eloki elo bedover eloki ratzaloyma b'maisim sheyitzavim ha'elokim." That one cannot grow spiritually by doing things that are not mitzvah. He says, the Mishkan, the Kalim, the Big Dekona, al kulam nitztavinu b'chol proteyem v'dikdukeyem. And that taka enhances our ability to be oivid the Rebbeinu Shalom, but not things that we do on our own. And he writes, the aim ba'avodas hakel svara v'loy hakosho v'loy yischakmus. You can't make your own svaras, your own sushtels, hakosha v'loy yischakmus. Boyfriend, that the Chet HaEgel was that it was a svara of hakosha, hischakmus, wanting something that's muchashi to be able to focus on, but it all has to be al pi tzivui, and this was not al pi tzivui. So when Yidden were magdim nasa l'nishma, that removed the zuhama of yoidei toiv v'ara, which is the yesoid of the svara, the hakosha, the hischakmus. But when they made the egel mitoich svara, hakosha, and hischakmus, it brought back the zuhama. But when we're mekayim the chukah chakakti, gzeira gozarti, the ein lechoreshus laharachreo, that is the counterbalance to the chet of hakosha and hischakmus and svara. This we do without any svara, and therefore this is the kinuach of the tzoya of the egel. So Reb Moshe Adarshan is really not giving a reason that's outside of the Chukah Chakakti. He's explaining why the Parah Aduma has to be done as a Chukah Chakakti Gzeira Gazarti Ve'ein L'choreshus L'har Achreo. It has to be done in this way because this is the only way to rid ourselves of the Chet or Egel, which is the Chet of Svara, Hakosha, and Hischakmus. So that L'choreh is why Mikra Parah Ma'akva in the Maisa Parah. Since the whole Indian of the Parah is Chukah Chakakti, to emphasize that we're obeying the rules without Svara, Hakosha, and Hischakmus. So the Maisa Parah has to be with the book in hand. I mean, these are the instructions. This is how you do it, and it's not about Svara, Hakosha, and Hischakmus. And so also Yom Kippur, which is the day of Matan Luchoy Shniyos, through the Solachti Kidvarecha and the Chet HaEgel, for which the Luchas Rishonos were broken. Therefore, in the Maisa Yom Kippurim, also Mikra Parsha Ma'akva, because in the Kapara for the Chet HaEgel, the reading of the Parsha is emphasized, and the Avuhain the Kula, the source of it all, is the Yemei HaMiluim, which was about the kapara of the Chet HaEgel, as it says on the 8th day of the Yemei HaMiluim, at the beginning of Parshas Shmini. Vayomer el haharin kach lecha egel ben baka lechatos. Dr. Rashi in the name of Teres Kayanim kach lecha egel lo hidia shemechaper leHaKadosh Baruch Hu al yidei egel zeh al maise haegel she'osa. And Memela, these three things have to be mitoich hasefer, have to be with kriyas haparsha ma'akve, and avada, that also connects with the fact that Parshas Parah comes after Parshas Zochar, after we get rid of Amalek, which is Bigmatria Suffolk, which is the overemphasis of Svara, and we reach the Madrega of Lo Yoda. We realize that the Iker is the obeying, whether you're Yoda or you're not Yoda. You say Oror Haman and Baruch Mordechai, which is beyond Svara, Hakosha, and Eschakmus. Zeh HaDovar, Mikra Parsha Ma'akve. We reach Parshas Parah, which is the Kapara for the Chet HaEgel. We should all have a good Shabbos.